The World Nuclear Security Summit, which ended on the 2nd of April this year in Washington, turned out an extensive deliberations on nuclear proliferation and terrorism. Over time, it's been the desire of world powers to restrict the development of nuclear resources by adopting the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. As the federal government reiterates its commitment to chart its own nuclear future, where does this place Nigeria amongst the Committee of Nations? And what's the prospect of Nigeria's nuclear plan? Welcome to Question Time. I'm Benga Ashiru. You may also join in this conversation by sending us your comments on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. The strive by world powers to reduce nuclear stockpiles amongst the nations of the world, this time and again, brought some smaller nations which have ambitious plans to develop their own nuclear energy at crosspath with the world powers. Interestingly, Nigeria stands on the path of building a nuclear base for development which includes its agenda for renewable source of energy. In a bid to put Nigeria's nuclear policy in its proper perspective, Channels TV was in Abuja at the Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority. We met with the Director General of the agency, Professor Lawrence Anikwe. Join us in this exclusive interview. Professor Lawrence Anikwe, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Question Time.
Thank you very much.
Now let's start this conversation by looking at the recent World Nuclear Security Summit held in Washington a couple of days ago. With the focus nuclear security and terrorism, how relevant is nuclear security to a country like Nigeria?
It is relevant to Nigeria in the sense that we are a nuclear power program country. We are using these nuclear materials and radioactive materials in our hospitals, in our oil and gas, in all other industries. And the federal government has established us to have a nuclear power program. So it is relevant to us, and the issue of terrorism is also in our land. We have this problem subsisting in our country. So it was necessary, very, very necessary, that we participate in this nuclear security summit.
I'm just looking at the high possibility of the terrorists having explored devices like the improvised explosive devices. The possibility of them taking a step further with nuclear stockpiles is quite evident. So how do you see this possibility?
You are very right that terrorists have been making attempts to acquire nuclear materials. But the important fact is that they have not been able to acquire it, even the Al-Qaeda. That is why everybody looks and sees the importance of Obama's project of calling the whole world to deny access to this material. This is the importance of to deny access. They have not got the material. They have not got the material. The second part of the question is that the material is abundant around the world or in Nigeria. Yes, I will agree with you that the material is abundant on the earth soil. But it requires knowledge to be able to get this material, separate it, and own it. It requires a lot of knowledge. And this knowledge are not just anybody's knowledge.
It's quite surprising that in these days of unrestricted access to information materials like the internet, that we could think of restricting the knowledge of a nuclear plan. How plausible is that?
Yes, this is what this whole summit is that we are talking about is all about. Yes, a desperate group can go all out. This is why the knowledge, enlightenment, knowledge, precautions are being taken to make sure everybody is involved. Okay, when we are asking about the fact, why do we have to participate? These are the reasons, so that everybody has knowledge to deny access to this material. There is literature in the internet, but literature being available in the internet doesn't translate to that, to making it, to being able to use the methodology.
It's on record that Nigeria boasts of immense potentials in nuclear materials. So how much of that has been generated so far in building an alternative source of energy like the nuclear power plants?
Nigerian Nuclear Regulatory Authority is a regulator, but the authority that is in charge of implementing, as an operator, implementing nuclear power program, has given the date of 2025 as the time for Nigerians to have electricity through nuclear.